Mobile interfaces are fundamental to app development, as this is the way users interact with mobile apps. In this video, you will learn about the basic concepts of a mobile interface and some of Apple's recommendations regarding interface design. So, what is a mobile user interface? A mobile UI, or user interface, is a graphical surface which is generally sensitive to touches that allow the user to interact with the device. In terms of interfaces, Apple devices can generally be divided into two categories: standard computers, which use non-touch interfaces and a mouse as a controller, and touch devices, which use touch interfaces and a finger as a controller. Non-touch interfaces are generally larger compared to touch interfaces and use a mouse as a controller, which offers increased precision compared to a finger on a small interface. To deal with decreased precision, controls like buttons, sliders, and checkboxes need to be bigger on touch interfaces. Because screens are smaller on touch interfaces, including mobile devices such as the iPhone and Apple Watch, user interface designers must pay attention to their use of space and display only the necessary amount of information at one time. Displaying less information is essential to making an app clearer and neater and ensures simplicity, one of the key aspects of a successful app. Apple created a document called Human Interface Guidelines that covers the key aspects necessary for creating interfaces that can adapt to a variety of sizes and controlling devices. According to Apple, the fundamental idea is to always put people first when designing UIs by prioritizing respectful communication and presenting content and functionality in ways that everyone can access and understand. In terms of colors, for example, you should use color combinations that are readable and not conflicting or aggressive to the eye. To illustrate, the button on the right, which uses a light fill and dark font and outline, offers better readability than the button on the left, which uses two similar shades of dark colors. Color consistency is another topic covered in the Human Interface Guidelines. For example, red is consistent with an illogical choice to represent destructive functionalities such as a button that deletes an item. And in terms of control sizes, consider creating larger buttons for touch interfaces. If the buttons are too small, the user may feel discomfort without having enough area to touch the button, and their finger itself may block the view when they touch the screen. These are just a few of the hundreds of points discussed by the Human Interface Guidelines. To find out more, you can use the link to this document in the Additional Resources section of this module. In this video, you learned about mobile UIs, the key differences between using regular computer screens controlled by a mouse and smaller mobile touchscreens controlled by fingers, and some of the considerations you need to keep in mind when designing the interfaces for your apps. In the next video, you'll learn how to set up Xcode, which you'll use to create these mobile interfaces in SwiftUI.